Well, the Biden administration just announced their latest attack on the Second Amendment today. So we're going to take a couple of minutes and review this crap. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Firearm Firm channel. This morning, December the 13th, the Biden administration announced that Vice President Harris is launching the Biden-Harris Administration Safer States Initiative. This anti-2A initiative seeks to provide states with additional tools, i.e. gun control, and support to help them reduce gun violence. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for reducing gun violence. But what I'm not for is restricting law-abiding citizens' right to bear arms and to protect themselves and loved ones from criminals who don't abide by the law in the first place. In kicking off this so-called Safer States Initiative, the White House published fact sheet. Vice President Harris launches the Biden-Harris Administration Safer States Initiative, highlights new executive actions to reduce gun violence, which is an agenda outlining what states should do. The first thing is establish a state office of gun violence prevention. Now, many of you may recall that back in September of this year, Biden established the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention, which Vice President Harris is in charge of. So now the administration is wanting the states to do what they did, and of course, guess who will be funding it? That's right, you the taxpayer. Number two, investing in evidence-informed solutions to prevent and respond to gun violence, including community violence intervention, crime gun intelligence centers, and implementation of extreme risk protection orders. I mean, hell, why not go ahead and encourage the state government to violate a law-abiding citizen's due process rights by implementing red flag laws? Why not? All right, they're already going ahead and trying to encourage them to infringe on your Second Amendment rights, so let's just throw in another one. Number three, strengthening support for survivors and victims of gun violence. I'm not sure how they're going to do this. I am all about helping those who are victims of crimes. Number four, reinforcing responsible gun ownership, including by requiring safe storage of firearms and reporting of lost and stolen firearms. Florida somewhat has a safe storage of firearms law already in place, in that a parent or guardian can be held criminally liable if their child gets access to an unsecured loaded firearm and injures themselves or another. As far as reporting lost or stolen firearms, Florida law does not require you to do that. However, we always encourage you to report any lost or stolen firearm, and that's really to protect you by creating a paper trail, and that's just in case down the road if that firearm turns up in a crime scene, you have documentation when you last possessed it. Number five, strengthening gun background checks, including by enacting universal background checks legislation and removing barriers to complete enhanced background checks. I foresee this one being a complete mess and causing the law-abiding citizen having to wait an extended period of time to take possession of a firearm, while this so-called extended background check takes time to complete. And finally, holding the gun industry accountable, including by banning assault weapons and high-capacity magazines and enacting firearm-specific liability laws to ensure that victims of gun violence have their day in court. Now, this one really pisses me off. This administration wants gun manufacturers and gun stores, or the gun industry, to be held accountable for what a person does after they purchase a firearm. This administration is not calling for car manufacturers or the car industry to be held responsible when a person decides to drink and drive and hurt someone or themselves. So why should the gun industry be held responsible for what someone else does with their product? This line of thinking, it completely blows my mind. Now, of course, they had to put in something about banning assault weapons and these high-capacity magazines into the agenda. I think I've probably expressed my opinions on this enough in other videos, so I'm not going to get into it. But in short, I think this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm sure you will see a lot more added to this agenda in the months ahead. And as always, I will make sure to keep everyone up to speed on this administration's attempt to infringe on your right to keep and bear arms. In the meantime, the best thing you can do to fight against these types of infringement is to contact your representatives and let your voices be heard. You can also help by liking and sharing this video and subscribing to the Firearm Firm channel if you haven't already done so. Be sure to let us know what you think about this latest attack, along with any questions you have down below in the comments section. Until next time, stay armed and educated.